Welcome to the channel, Android Programming Step by Step for Beginners. In this video you will learn how to develop a simple Windows type calculator app. Kindly don't forget to subscribe the channel to get further updates. Kindly comment and share if you like the channel. It is strongly recommended to pause the video until you read the whole slide. Once you have read the slide, then you can play the video to go to the next slide. The following topics will be covered in this video. Number decimal text view widget. Finding a substring within a string. How to check at runtime that an edit box is empty or not. Using if-else statement. Using switch statement. In this video we are going to develop an app as shown here. You can see that it is more or less the same as Windows Calculator. You will learn everything required to build this app. So let's start a new project in Android Studio. Open Android Studio. Click on File, New and then New Project. Type the application name. Click the Next button. Check Phone and Tablet if already not checked. Select the target API, for example API 24 Android 7.0 Nougat. Click Next button. Select Empty Activity, if not selected. Click Next button. Make sure activity name is Main Activity. Click the Finish button. It will take some time to create the application, so be patient. Once the project is created, then click on Activity_Main.xml tab. Now click on Design tab to make the required design of the app. You may need to change the app theme. In default theme, you may not be able to see the widgets when they are brought to the layout after dragging from the palette. Click on App Theme and select Material Light or Material Dark from the drop-down list. I will prefer to use Material Light, but you can choose one of your choice. You may like to convert constraint layout to relative layout. In relative layout you may feel more comfort to design the layout of your app. To use relative layout, right-click on Constraint Layout, then select Convert View, select Relative Layout, and then click on Apply button. If you are comfortable with the default constraint layout, then you can continue with this. We will discuss in detail the difference among different layout later in another video. At the moment I will prefer to use the relative layout. To design the Windows type calculator, we need one number decimal edit text widget and 17 buttons. Number decimal text view widget is used to accept numeric input having a decimal point. You need to drag these widgets from the palette to UI to design the calculator app. You just need to drag the views from palette to UI and change the ID and text attributes of each view. You are supposed to design the UI shown on the left-hand side. If you run the app, then you will get the output as shown on the right side. As no Java code is written at the moment, therefore if you click on any button, then no action will be performed. To add some functionality, we need to write the Java code for each and every button of the app. For example, if we click on button 1, then 1 should be displayed in the text box. Similarly, if we click on button 2, then 2 should be displayed in the text box. So for every button, you will be required to write some Java code. The next slides will show that what Java code will be required for this calculator app. If you click in the text box, then you can also enter the required number. As we are using number decimal edit text widget, which allows only number to be entered as input, so you can directly enter a number. But in this app we will do it ourselves. We need to write our own Java code to compose the number by clicking on the buttons. You need to write Java code for every button you have dragged to the layout. First you need to import btnAdd text classes. Then you need to define objects of these classes. After writing the above code, main activity.java file should look like as shown in next slide. As you can see, you need to import btnAdd text classes at the top of main activity class. You need to define 16 objects of button class, and an object of edit text class. These objects will be used in the Java code as explained in the upcoming slides. Now you need to typecast all these objects and use find view by ID for all these objects. The next slide shows that how you can write this code. Carefully watch the code to be written for all the buttons. You can copy-paste the code to save your time. Now we need to use setOnClickListener method for each button. If button 1 is clicked, then 1 should be displayed in text box. To do this, the code shown here can be used. The same code can be written for button 2 to 9. Just replace the corresponding number in the code. This code is required to be executed if button 0 is clicked. If the text box is empty, then no action is required to be performed. But if the text box is not empty, then 0 should be displayed in it. For this purpose you need to use if statement as shown here. This is the code to be executed when button clicked at runtime. Here too, we need to put some checks. If the text box is empty, then 0 should be displayed in the text box. If the text box is not empty, then a dot should be displayed in the text box. If a dot is already displayed in the text box, then no action should be performed, as in a legitimate number, only one decimal point is allowed. This is the code to be executed when the user clicks on plus button at runtime. Here we are using variables a and another variable choice. It is important to note that these variables are defined globally. Variable a will store the value composed by the user before clicking the plus button. Variable choice is used to see that what button is pressed for processing. It will hold the value 1, if plus button is clicked. It will hold the value 2, if minus button is clicked. Similarly, it will hold the value 3 and value 4 if the user clicks on multiplication or divide button. This is explained in the next slides. This is the code to be executed when the user clicks on minus button at runtime. It is the same as written for the plus button. The only difference is that the variable choice will hold the value 2 instead of 1. This is the code to be executed when the user clicks on multiplication button at runtime. It is the same as written for the plus and minus buttons. The only difference is that the variable choice will hold the value 3 here. This is the code to be executed when the user clicks on divide button at runtime. Here the variable choice will hold the value 4. This choice variable is used in the next slide to decide that what operation is required to be performed when the user clicks on equal button. You can see the code of equal button in the next slide. This is code told to be executed when the user clicks on the equal button at runtime. It is assumed that the user has entered the second number before clicking the equal button. The choice variable is used to decide that what operation is required to be performed. For this purpose, switch statement is used. The result of operation is stored in variable c. The value of c will then be displayed in the text box to show the result. If the user clicks on clear button, then the text box should be cleared. For this purpose, this code can be used. Here is the demo of our app. If you have written the same code, as discussed in this video, then you will also get the same output. I hope that you have liked this video. In the next video, we will discuss another method to develop the same calculator. Kindly do subscribe the channel, if you have not subscribed so far. Do like and share the video. Thanks for watching.
Subscribe to our channel by clicking the subscribe button. Click the bell button and enjoy the latest uploads from our channel.